He's for the game. He's for the Viking. He's a big Viking. He thinks he's awesome.
Hey everybody, this is me, the Undead Viking. 2020 is going to be, hopefully, I always say things like, oh, I'm going to do this with my channel. I've said that for 10 plus years I've been doing these videos. And that's just so freaking crazy. I mean, like, I've been doing these videos longer than my son has been alive. I mean, that just, drives me crazy. I just stunned. But, one of the things I want to do a lot of in 2020 is I want to do a lot more things I'm passionate about and things that I really dig. And things that I really am passionate about and really love are role-playing games. That's the type of tabletop gaming that got me into this. Yeah, it got me into like board games, because it was because of the fact that I couldn't get my gaming group together like to play 6-7 hour long D&D sessions anymore, that I was like, can I get my friends who now have wives, who have children, can I get them over to my house to play a board game for a couple hours so I can at least see my buddies again? And that's what got me into the board game hobby, and that's why I have this channel. So one of the things I want to do is I want to focus on some role-playing things that I pick up and things that I read and do reviews, like I'm going to do a review of this here in just a couple seconds. But I also want to do more videos just about role-playing and just the things that I've picked up from being a player and also running games for the last, well, literally like 4 decades, 40 plus years of doing this. Now, that doesn't make me an expert, it just means I experienced a lot, but whatever, who cares? So this is Gunderholfen. Now this is as you can see, it says this is a mega dungeon and also mini campaign world for Osric, which is old school rules, is what, and it's also like OSR fantasy role-playing games. Now, as I've said many times, one of the things I really love about 5th edition D&D is that it is very easily converted over, or you can convert a 5th edition product over to 1st edition or old school OSR rules pretty easily, and you can also take OSR rules and you can convert them over to 5th edition very easily. Now, there's tons of websites out there that talk about how to do the conversions. Me personally, I'm fast and loose with all of my rules, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. And I'm going to do a video about my fast and loose D&D rules, which, I should probably like outline that and do that in the next few days or so. But anyway, my point is that Gunderholfen is a fantastic mega dungeon. This is a big, giant, thick book. I mean, not that the page count matters, but it's over 400 pages of a giant dungeon that your players can go and kill themselves in. So I also really like this cover. This is a very strange, very old school looking creature with lots of eyes and tentacles and whatever, but it doesn't tell you anything, right? There's lots of times when, like, you'll pick up an adventure or a module or a campaign book or whatever, and right there is a big giant spoiler on the front of the book, and you're like, oh, well, the players are like, when are we gonna run into that combat? You're like, but this is weird. This is Cthulhu-esque. This is Cyclopean, as they say, like Cyclopean depths kind of thing. So I dig it. I dig the cover. But regardless of the cover, this is this book came out of nowhere for me. I don't even know how I heard about it. I think maybe I saw somebody post a Facebook post about it, or it popped up in my drive-through RPG stuff. This game, as far as I know, this book didn't go to Kickstarter, didn't do anything. It just showed up on drive-through RPG, and I mean, I looked for it. I looked to see where it could have been. It might have been like in a crowdfunding thing somewhere, but I didn't find it anywhere. This is a book that is like I said, usually these books come from some sort of crowdfunding, or they're published by a known publisher. And as far as I know, Greg Hawkins, let me see what his name is. I apologize to the author of this that I don't know what the name is offhand. No, just G. Hawkins. That stinks. I don't know that. But whatever. The designer, this showed up on DriveThruRPG, and you can get the PDF for on the cheap, but you can also pay like around $50 to get this book. And I am a big believer in books. I like holding a book. I like reading a book, and so I have tons of PDFs for role-playing games, but I hardly ever read them just because I hate reading off of a screen. One of the best things I love about this is in the credits or the playtesters here at the very beginning, it says playtesters, Stagman, Deceased, Deerman, Voy Voy, Fack, Level Drained, Humplestump, Bucknard, Level Drained, multiple times, then Petrified, and a Bottiswall. Petrified, then abused, then auctioned as art, and then revived. So I love the fact that they listed off like basically these playtesters that got killed while running through this dungeon in this world. So I mean, for starters, it's a giant dungeon, and it gives a really good background as to why you would want to have anything to do with this dungeon, and why you'd want to go into this dungeon, and why you'd want to mess around with this dungeon. It is also very old school in the fact that it is very brutal. It is very it definitely gives you hints like this is not a good idea to go this way. But if you decide, yes, I want to go that way, the dungeon then will kill you because you were dumb and you shouldn't have gone through that. I do love that, like, you have like classic encounters. Like one of the classic encounters, like in lots of old school D&D books, were like giant insects. Like that was just like, I mean, very, very much Ray Harryhausen kind of like giant scorpions, giant insects, giant ants, things like that. That are just, you know, like, they have their own colony, and if you mess with it, they will likely kill you. There's also like cool like traps. There's cool things that just like, they're rooms that don't happen to have anything in them, but they have things that you can interact with and things that make the dungeon come alive when you play. Now I've seen people like they try to like go through, and I mean, I don't know, I'm still getting my legs underneath me as far as how I should do my old, like my role-playing game reviews. But I mean, short of like giving away lots of cool things like that players could play and then say, oh, okay, I know what that trick is, I know what that trap is, I know what that monster is, I know what I'm going to run into. I don't want to do that. I want these to be like, if you're a player, if you're a GM, anybody can do it. Now but there are a few things that I really, really like that I think are important to me in a book or a dungeon or whatever that I read, a role that I pick up. One, cut down on the verbiage. I don't want to read, you know, H.P. Lovecraftian level of dense text trying to like convey to me what this is. This is a game. This is Dungeons and Dragons. I don't want to have to like go through like the last like 1,000 years of background for a book, and a lot of times like they have that stuff in these books, and there's even some background here, but they keep it short and they keep it very, very sweet and very, very straight to the point. But you can skip it in this case and just run the dungeon. You don't have to worry about that. I want even I don't want a monster in every room. I remember when everybody made their dungeons in the very beginning, you would draw out you'd find a piece of graph paper first. Like now you can pick it up anywhere, but back when I was a kid, you needed graph paper. Like you had to go to like a special art school like place. Mine was Northern School Art Supply. It was a store that my mother would take me in, and you could get a pad of graph paper. It wasn't bound or anything. It was a pad of 50 pieces of graph paper. Then it would cost like, it was like $7. It was like a ridiculous. That's like 1970s prices for this, and that was like ridiculous. But I would come home and I would 3-hole punch it myself, and I would put it in a 3-ring binder, and I just protect it like it was gold. But I want like rooms with nothing. I want rooms with nothing, and I want rooms that like players can just check out things or anything. But I also want monsters, and I also want fun things. I want each level of the dungeon to have its own ecology. I want there to be things that you want to try to like. That you don't have to fight everything. You can try to talk to this group of weird cultists and then figure out what they're trying to do, and then maybe you can have them hire you to go and take care of the hobgoblins because they want something they have or something like that. I want there to be other ways than just going in there and killing things. You know, the whole murder hobo thing, it's real, it's out there, it's cool. I don't mind it, but I do think that D&D characters can be more. I also want there to be surprises. I want the dungeon to like throw you for a loop at some point, and this dungeon has a level that's going to throw the players for a loop. It even says in the back here, it says 1 demi-plane level, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But there's a very, very, very cool level that getting around in that level and also interacting with the people in that level, both good people and bad people, is going to throw your players for a loop, and they're going to really, really enjoy it. Bottom line is also, like, the maps are really, really good, and if you buy it, you do get the PDF, so, like, you can print off the maps, which is something I think is absolutely important. I want to be able to print out the maps for every dungeon that I have. Now, also, will I ever run this? No, I probably will never run this because I have my own ideas, I have my own creations. Has this dungeon given me dozens, if not hundreds, of ideas for my own campaigns? Yes, and that is exactly what I want from this. Plus, I want a fun read. I really, really enjoy reading books like this. So if you're like me, you're a DM that wants a book that's going to give me lots of ideas and spur imagination, but also have a fun time reading a book. And if you really had to, you could go to like a convention and play this. You could run this book, or you could run this as like the game that you don't think about that much, right? And then just like you have the campaign you run and you think about it all the time, but then you have the campaign that's just on easy mode and you meet maybe only once a month instead of once every 2 weeks or something. This would fit that. And yeah, so there you go. Gunderholfen, go check it out. I mean, definitely going on my keep pile as far as the D&D books I have. I tend to give away a lot of my D&D books after I read them if I don't think I want them anymore, because I have too many. I have way too many. I have like thousands of D&D books, and so I've just been starting to give them away to people after I've like kind of read it and got my knowledge out of it. So check that out. Maybe you can pick it up somewhere else, but I know you can get it in Drive-Thru RPG, and yeah, there you go. I think this is a great mega dungeon, and it is a lot of fun. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. Look for more RPG content. If there's something out there you think that I should review or look at, please let me know. I'm always on the lookout for giant D&D books, giant mega dungeon D&D books. I think I own most of them, but there's always the ones like this one, like this, just came out of nowhere, and I'm so excited when I heard about it. I just, I gotta get this. So, yeah, let me know. And until next time, just don't forget to be an awesome human being. I'm sure you are. And I am the Undead Viking, and I'll talk to you soon enough.